Do you know only one nation in Africa was not colonized? This small and unequipped nation defeated Italy, the European nation, in 1896. In the late 19th century, as the European powers carved up Africa in the frenzy of the so-called Scramble for Africa, there was one African empire that stood as an enigma to colonial ambition: Ethiopia. A land of ancient kingdoms, proud traditions, and a fiercely independent spirit. The Horn of Africa was no stranger to foreign interest, but in 1896, Ethiopia was about to show the world something few believed possible: that an African army could stand toe-to-toe with a European colonial power and win. It began years earlier, when Italy, newly unified as a nation in 1861, sought its own place in the sun. The other powers, Britain, France, Belgium, Germany, had already claimed vast territories in Africa and Asia. Italy wanted its empire, and the Red Sea coast seemed ripe for the taking. In 1889, Italy occupied the coastal territory of Eritrea. The Italians were eager to push inland into the Ethiopian highlands, but they knew outright invasion was risky, so they used diplomacy, or rather deception. That year, Ethiopia's Emperor Johannes IV had fallen in battle against the Mahdists of Sudan, and his successor, Menelik II, was consolidating power. Menelik was shrewd. He understood the European appetite for expansion, and he sought to play one power against another to Ethiopia's advantage. When the Italians offered him a treaty, the Treaty of Wuchale, it seemed a path to mutual recognition and peace. But hidden in the Italian language version was a sinister clause. In Amharic, the treaty said Ethiopia may use Italy as a diplomatic intermediary with other powers. In the Italian version, it said Ethiopia must conduct all foreign affairs through Italy, effectively making Ethiopia an Italian protectorate. When Menelik discovered this deception, he was outraged. He rejected the treaty in 1893, declaring Ethiopia's complete independence. Italy, however, was not prepared to let go. They saw Menelik's rejection as a challenge to their prestige and as an opportunity to assert dominance through force. In Rome, the idea took hold. A swift military campaign could bring Ethiopia under Italian control. By 1895, Italian forces, commanded by General Oreste Baratieri, began advancing from Eritrea into Tigray. At first, they captured key towns like Adigrat and Mekelle. But Menelik had been preparing. Years of careful diplomacy had allowed him to import modern weapons, rifles, artillery, ammunition, from France, Russia, and other suppliers. His army was not the disorganized force Europeans imagined. It was a national army, drawn from across Ethiopia's regions, united under the banner of independence and faith. Menelik sent out a call to arms, and Ethiopia responded.